do you use?
I use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I used to have a Tumblr.
Probably, I would say like 6 on a regular basis.
So what's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn,
Oh, I'd say about 3 or 4 there.
Russo?
Well, can you define social media?
That would be like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr.
Oh, I do the book face. I do the MySpace. I got my friend Tom. I like Tweeter. Tweeter's good. Like I tweet things, or would that be twit? Twat? I think it's twit. I use 3.
How many hours per day do you spend on them?
4.
I would probably say like 2-3 hours a day.
Probably 1 to 2. I'm more.
Does social media on the toilet count?
Yes.
Okay, I'd say about 6 hours.
6 hours a day?
On the toilet?
Half and half. It's
Half
about
and half.
3 hours in the toilet.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's roughly about, depending on the day, depending on what I eat.
Yeah.
How many hours do you spend on your phone?
6.
Oh,
2 to 3.
on my phone, probably closer to like 4 hours total.
Oh,
God. I mean, Jesus. I got one of those LG relics that people been raving about.
Classic.
I call it the drop phone because you drop it and it keeps working.
Oh,
I like
okay.
it a lot.
So,
Right? New technology. I'd say about 3 hours.
3 hours on your phone a day?
Too much.
How many hours do you spend on your computer?
I don't use computers like maybe 30 minutes a day or something.
Definitely not as much. I use my tablet or my phone for most things, so maybe like an hour or 2.
Probably 4.
Yeah.
Probably 5. I'm always on a computer for something. Probably 4 to 5, yeah.
Like sitting on the computer?
Anything on computer, laptop?
Well, on the computer? Like am I standing on the computer?
No. Like using a computer.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
3 hours.
3 hours a day?
3 hours a day, average.
Average on the computer? I'd say about the same because I'm a busy Coolidge student and I need to do my learning. If I don't do my learning online, I don't get my education, you know, from this fine university.
Why did you join social media?
Because my friends did it, and because it's a good way to network. So if you're long distance, you can keep in touch with people.
I joined mostly to keep in touch with people, and also I joined other ones when I started looking for jobs.
When I joined social media because it would connect me with people around me, sometimes people with similar interests. I can network, keep up with the gossip.
The internet made me. My peers made me join social media. It started with the MySpace, and then it ended up in the book face.
Yeah, my first website I joined was MySpace. I only had about 5 friends. Kinda got a little discouraged from MySpace, and then when I was in 8th grade, I joined the old Facebook. And from there on out, my life had changed.
Expanded. Got a lot of friends.
Or wasted.
Got about
Wasted.
60 friends.
Would you say it was wasted?
Possibly.
Could have been any more wasted. Were you wasted on Facebook?
Sometimes.
That's not good.
Do you feel social media has impacted your personal relationships?
Yes. I just feel like, I guess in one sense, you don't have the face-to-face communication anymore. But like I said, like I have family overseas, so it's easy to communicate with them in that way. So that's why I like social media, because you can't see them every day, and you know, it's a good way to keep in contact.
I've actually made some friends through social media, you know, mutual friends, things like that. But it doesn't really affect like my good friendships where I was close to the people before social media.
I think social media has impacted my life, not necessarily negatively. I think that it can depend on your emotions. It can be a good or bad thing, but personally for me, I think it's been great to network with people with similar interests, and you know, it gives me a way to look and keep up to date with some people I see every day.
Yes, I'm gonna go yes, because as soon as someone's like, "Oh, do you like somebody?" and they're like, "Oh, you better make it Facebook official," I want to fucking put it on. I mean, edit that out. I want to put it on Facebook. Nah.
You know what I say to those people that are all like, what was the question again?
How did Facebook or social media
Your personal relationship?
your personal relationship?
Well, I got a lot closer with my mom.
I will agree with that.
I mean, she posts a lot of cat pictures on Facebook.
She'd be like, "Are you dating that? You dating that skank again?" I'll be like, "No, Mom. I seen it on your Facebook."
Do you spend more time socializing online or in person?
In person.
Definitely in person. I'm a social butterfly.
Well, ask anybody that knows me, I never stop talking, so I think I socialize a lot more in person than online.
Oh shit.
No comment.
I'd encourage my client to answer the question.
Do I spend time, you know, when I'm walking through the hallways of the old EWGB, I see people just walking through on their phones, and I just want to walk up to them, slap them up a little bit, tell them, why don't you have a conversation with the old lassie that you're walking by? So my thing is, I try to spend more time talking to people in the real world, not the cyber world. And I just really want to stress that to all my peers and everyone that I'm close with.
I only talk to this guy in real life. I never talk to him online. Because trying to find him online is trying to find like a blind squirrel, trying to find a nut. It only happens once in a great while. If it's not good.
Solve conflicts over social media or in person?
Definitely in person.
Personally, I solve conflicts in person, but I see that if an issue would arise online, and I think if people don't have enough information about a subject, I will chime in occasionally, but not often.
Oh man.
It's harder to kick someone's ass over social media, let me tell you.
True that. True that.
I like selling things how they did in the West, you know, 5 steps forward and 3 steps back, and then tussle, sometimes wrestle.
See, when you're in person, you can't get up right in the person's face.
And
you kinda
wrestle.
spit in their face a little bit when you're
And then wrestle.
And then wrestle.
Like if I was to spit in his face, he'd be like, "We're gonna wrestle." You can't do that over social media.
No. Like he needs to be like, we're gonna wrestle in person.
I'm gonna wrestle the piss out of you at 3 a.m. by the clock tower.
But none of that happens.
No.
But when you're in person.
You tell that to someone, you better be there to go wrestle at 3 a.m. at the clock tower. That's early in the fucking morning.
Have you ever experienced cyberbullying?
I just kind of assume that I have at some point. I don't know, there's nothing that like sticks out, but I know that it happens, so.
Yes.
Personally, I've never experienced it firsthand per se. In high school, I would get a little ribbing here and there because of my political affiliation, mostly just joking, but I definitely see, not only in the news, but if I go to school, how it can be negative, and even if somebody's joking, it's hard to sometimes differentiate joking and serious. So I've definitely seen it. Not extremely firsthand, but...
Fortunately, a lot of people out there do experience it.
Have you?
Have you?
Personally, yeah, I have. What do you do about it?
What? So, you want to fight about it online?
You gonna fight about it?
Online at the clock tower?
Wait. That's the whole point of this.
Did you ever get bullied, Trevor, online? Did
Yes,
people
I have.
ever make fun of your bicycle online?
Yes, I have.
Did you beat them up?
No.
Because that's cyberbullying. He didn't let cyberbullying push himself into a corner to go beat up people in real life.
Have you ever been cyberbullied yourself?
Someone made fun of my hair one time. Said I was a pretty girl.
Have you ever said something horrible online?
No. Like, so everybody, so everybody else could see it, or so it was like to that person directly. Like if I Facebook message somebody and I.
Either or.
Okay, then yes, I did.
No. Sure. It wasn't that mean.
If you count a strongly worded email, yes, but other than that, nothing negative really, nothing like harming or bullying somebody else.
Dan yells at me all the time. He says I'm a doo-doo head. Does league count? I've said a lot of bad things in league.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also saw some bad things when we were watching Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Man. Those were the days.
Oh man, that bullying was strong on that one.
It was.
Dan, what about you?
Democracy, anarchy.
They said for everybody who votes democracy, that they'd go find their family and throw them in sacks and throw them in the river.
They were threatening to kill people's families.
Do you think social media makes it easier to harass people?
Yes, because a lot of times you have anonymity.
Yeah, anonymity.
You have that. So I mean, people feel like they're hidden and they can say whatever they want to without, like they have impunity. So.
I definitely think it's easier to harass people via social media. Whether or not there's less consequences, I don't really think so. I think it's actually easier to have consequences then because there's documentation. If it's in a chat or an email, you can just pull it up and be like, he said, she said, instead of just taking somebody's word for it.
I think one thing that social media does for maybe people that are bullied or maybe are going through a lot is that they can do that type of behavior without immediate consequences. They can, if they're maybe not cowardly, maybe isn't the best word, but they can hide behind social media and express their thoughts maybe in a negative way without being known about it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, is the cyber police going to come and...
Oh no, not the cyber police! Is that like the fashion police? Because they got me yesterday.
Worse.
I was wearing these shoes that did not match the shirt. And I was trying to be a pretty girl, but it just wasn't happening. But, what was the question again? Oh yeah. Yeah, I believe that it's easier for me to, say, hey Dan, you look like a big old Dumbo face, because he's not gonna be able to get me in real life. And even if I do say that he's a big Dumbo face online, he's not gonna tell anybody. I'll beat the shit out of him.
It's true.
You big Dumbo face. Oh shit, I said it. Oh no, we're not online. This is RL Dan. I'm sorry. We'd like to thank Jesus Christ. Without him, the internet would not be possible.
I'd like to thank Greg Eldreddy and Solon.
I'd like to thank Greg Eldreddy and Solon. Without Solon, we would not be educated in twerking.
Educated on twerking.
I would
Social life lesson.
Should we
Valuable life lesson.
valuable.